I've had a lot of SEALs on the show. The process going from starting buds to getting your trident and that journey into the SEAL teams is pretty well known. I've only had I've had Dakota on, and there's been a couple other guys with some Marine experience, but I am curious. You're the first Force Recon guy I've had on, and I know a lot of listeners are curious about two things. One is what is that process like compared to the SEAL teams in terms of when you first start, but then also if you could kind of highlight the difference between Force Recon and SEALs, at least from the ones that you've worked with. I know there's way more similarities than there are differences, but if you could talk about kind of both of those things, because
absolutely. I think that so through my career, I was fortunate enough to work with every branch of special operations, and I will say that if you're going to look at the reconnaissance Marine, especially the Force Reconnaissance Marine, I would say that's the closest thing to a Navy SEAL, and the way that they train and the way that their process of coming up, similar to BUDS. When you go to MARSOC, I would say it's more along the lines of a crossbreed between a little bit of recon, the training there, but really SF, Green Beret. I mean, the way that we do selection, the way that we do it's much more similar to the Green Beret pipeline and the Q course and all that. But my recon time was much like kind of the way the Navy SEAL comes up. In my day, we had this thing called RIP, which now is like basically they call it pre-BRC. But I did Recon Indoctrination Platoon for 3 months. So that's before you even get to go to what you would say BUDS would be, which was ARS at the time. Mike, I'll tell you, that was probably the worst 3 months of my life.
I mean, is that primarily just selection? Like it's
basically selection and prepping you for school, because what they want to do is, I'll tell you this right now, my RIP class was harder than the actual school.
Is the attrition rate through the roof?
Absolutely through the roof.
I mean, how many?
When we started RIP, I don't remember how many people we had, but I think we only sent probably like 11 people to school. And then when I went to school, there was like 100 and something. We graduated 14. 14 got the MOS.
So I mean, it's similar attrition rate to BUDS too. And 75-80% of the fucking people are.
I mean, it's a wake up in the morning, instructor walks out, kicks you square in the dick, and that's how you start your day. For 3 months. For 3 months.
And then so once you make it through that, what is that next step like in comparison? Is it, I know you said RIP was harder, but is it kind of a hybrid of, still kicking you in the nuts, but you've proven worthy of being here and
I mean,
teach
especially at Force, like you show up, it's funny because you graduate school, right? You made it. You're an 03, 21, you Force Reconnaissance Marine, and you think that like, oh, I'm fucking hot shit. The truth is, you haven't done anything. You have no insert schools. You have you don't know. You haven't done a workup. You haven't done shit. And they let you know that real fast.
Day one.
And that's really where I mean, as much as I love BRC and I love those programs and I think they put out a great product, you really don't become a Force Recon Marine until you've done like your full workup and a full deployment, because that's when you really learn your school. And it's probably the same way in the SEALs.
I mean, BUDS is a little over 6 months, and that's it's primarily a selection. I mean, you learn and they teach you a little bit in the different phases, but overwhelmingly, it's do you have what it takes to do the job, and then you do a 3.5 month advanced training block after that, where it's legitimately trying to bridge the gap from a know-nothing BUDS graduate that just, this guy, is cut from the cloth that we're looking for, and try to get him as up to speed as possible so that when he goes to a SEAL team and jumps into a platoon, he's not dragging them so far down. But same thing is that, once you get there, it's still, you're going to do a full workup and a full deployment before you really know what the fuck you're doing. And
so basically keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut your first workup and deployment.
No, absolutely. And so that second phase is more like our, advanced training kind of thing. So, So after that, then you got.
I want to say, people underestimate, and me and my buddy Josh Hansberger have written prep books for all this stuff that sell really well, and we actually had two Marines that used our recon prep book that just graduated BRC. But there's a lot of kids out there, and I don't know if your demographic, if you have youth that listen to this, they underestimate how hard it is. a lot of guys, and I see it too. Like, I'm gonna go be the SEAL. Like, sure you are, bud.
Yeah.
Like they underestimate truly how mentally and physically tough it is to go through that training.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to move on without
Yeah.
really fucking nailing that into the head. Like, it is hard.
Yeah.
It is really, really hard.
Yeah. Well, I think that, at least from my experience, both having gone through it and then been an instructor for several years, my last few years in, is that, there's no amount of shape that you show up in that is going to get you through training.
Oh, no, I don't care how.
Yeah. Obviously the better shape that you're in, the less you're going to have to rely on your mind. However, without a doubt, you're going to have to rely heavily on your fucking mind, and so to me,
that's how I got through.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of my
yeah.
physical prowess.
No, I mean, fuck, that's everybody, is that, yeah, I mean, that like they're going to find a way to make it so hard to where you can't be in good enough shape.
Well,
I
watched collegiate level athletes quit.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I mean,
and they could run circles around me.
Yeah, Olympic swimmers and fucking, all-American wrestlers and football players. And yeah, I mean, it's I have kind of a generic theory as to why that is. I think, a lot of those super high-level elite athletes, when they show up, they've never really been pushed.
Right.
And a lot of them, especially nowadays,
because they're naturally gifted
already.
already.
They've never really had to work that hard. It came so naturally that they didn't really have to learn how to push themselves. I mean, there are exceptions. But there's a lot of them that show up, but between that and especially in today's day and age with, well, he's our star quarterback, so you were late. Don't worry about it. Like, the rules don't fucking apply to you. And so, that combination, is a recipe for an entitled fuck bag.
Yep.
That doesn't have any real fucking drive behind him when it gets shitty.
Because he's never failed.
Yeah, and he's never been humbled, by any of his, and that's, I know the Marines are absolutely no fucking different than SEAL instructors in that, like, our number one priority is to kick you right in the fucking balls and make you realize you're nobody,
Right. Yeah,
and over and over and over and over, so, I mean, it's neat to hear the process is so similar. Again, having not really shot the shit with anybody, with your background as it relates to what that process is like is neat. So moving on then, you finish that and now you get into your first unit, basically. Describe what that was like.
Scary.
Yeah. Where was it at?
Second Force was right in Courthouse Bay in Camp Lejeune. And I mean, you're just, as a young sergeant, brand new Force Recon Marine, I'm just looking at these like legends.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, I mean, it's a small unit, right? It's a super small unit. I mean, Force Recon at the time it's smaller than any other special operations branch or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows each other.
Yeah. Is it a couple of hundred or how many active?
I think a couple, maybe at the time, maybe a couple thousand. I knew that at that time, I'll give you this, there was only 250 something E5s,
Yeah.
O321s at the time.
Yeah.
In the whole Marine Corps.
Yeah.
It was very kind of nerve-wracking to look and see how badass all these guys were.
Yeah.
These senior staff NCOs that have been doing this for a long time and had multiple deployments. And at this time, this was 2004. So these guys at Second Force already had multiple combat deployments under their belt.
Yeah.
So here I am just going, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just tried to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Try to keep my mouth shut and stay out of trouble, which it didn't work. But that was the thought process.
Yeah.
But
was there much hazing back then with you guys?
100%.
Yeah.
In RIP, I mean, ARS and BRC is a little bit more like it's a formal school,
Yeah.
right? So the hazing, if you want to call it hazing, it's more calculated, and it's not really hazing; it's training.
It's just the instructors doing.
Yeah, it's like, do you consider Hell Week hazing?
No.
Right.
No, I mean, for us, the term hazing is absolutely really only applies to, once you're at a SEAL team and in a SEAL platoon and you fuck up or whatever, and then that's when you get electrocuted and Tabasco poured on your balls. And
right. That's a little different story.
And fucking locked in a. You guys use cruise boxes, those big gray metal fucking boxes, that 2/3 full of water and shoved in there with a fucking regulator and the lid closed and locked for 40 minutes. Shit like that happened all the time, and that's one of the things.
That's so awesome.
Oh, it's fucking great. Or fucking ice baths, or I mean, goddamn, we had one guy that it's just something as simple as he got married and didn't tell the platoon.
Oh shit.
And so, they beat his ass and taped him up. That's one of the big things is being taped up, right? Is that a whole roll of fucking the green, we call it riggers tape.
Riggers
The
tape, yeah.
green duct tape, a whole roll of that, just wrapping it, taping a dude up like a fucking mummy and give him lobster claws, super tape his fucking hands where they're like tapered, or tape his hands to his head and then make a big loop, intertwined into that and call it a happy hat.
And then make him drink water.
Drag him around, fucking waterboard. I mean, but the thing that they did to him above and beyond all that is he was a hairy fuck. I mean, kind of the same way I am now. And they shaved his entire fucking torso and arms, and then at the range you use the spray glue to spray targets on.
Shit!
They
yeah.
spray glued.
Glue,
yeah, they spray glued all of his body hair onto his face to give him a fucking Osama beard. And I mean, just so, and a bunch of other shit. But
man, you can't make that shit up.
Yeah, but to me that like a lot of people listening are probably like, holy shit, that's stuff obviously doesn't happen in corporate America and not even close. But I will say that there was a self-regulation that existed in the community then that just does not exist now.
Yeah.
And you see it, you can see it, the amount of problems and specifically in special operations and the SEAL teams have had a host of them lately. And I don't think it's, it's shaving haircuts. It's let the guys police themselves.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I've seen the same thing. We've seen the same thing with MARSOC and the SF community as well. I think it's, and not to like jump on like the millennial bandwagon or whatever, but there is a different level of entitlement with younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad to see, and I hope that it takes a turn for the better.
Yeah,
in the future.
I agree, and I bag on snowflake millennials probably more than, or at least as much as anybody. But in thinking about it and being fair, it's not their fault. I mean, the reality is that
it's their parents' fault.
Well, it's the parents and even the administration or I'll use air quotes, leadership or lack of leadership in the military that doesn't allow things to take place that are proven mechanisms for policing ourselves. And when that doesn't take place, you can't, it's like being pissed at kids for misbehaving. It's like, well, if you're their fucking parent, then you unfuck yourself and figure that out. Like, it's not the kid's fault.
Yeah, and if it went like in our day, like if you could self-police yourself, these wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah,
that the news wouldn't know about the things that are happening.
I mean, these things didn't happen when back in the early 2000s. And there's a reason. It's not because we weren't at war, because we were. It's just as we've made it more and more political and almost corporate based. It's really, I mean, it's a culture clash, and it just doesn't fucking work. I mean, you got to let fucking Vikings and Spartans be Vikings and Spartans and do their fucking thing. They're not Boy Scouts, but
so hazing. So it's like RIP. I don't know if I would call it hazing. It just sucked a lot. There's a lot of stuff that it's like buds. Yeah, it's just that kind of training.
Any good hazing stories from when you were at the actual unit that you can share? Similar to the dipshit stuff we did.
No, I mean, I didn't really get hazed. I got what's PT'd.
Yeah,
I got
a smoke session
for something that I didn't even do. So the only thing that I'll say is, and this guy is just his name's Mitch, and just a complete. He's one of those guys that just the absolute legend, badass. He was a staff sergeant at the time. I was a sergeant, and so we had the Marine Corps ball, Second Force ball. I was brand new. And I show back up on Monday after the ball, and he walked outside. He's like, "Get your fucking water source and stand the hell by." And I'm like, "What the fuck did I do?" And I'm like, and as in that kind of command, you don't say, "But what?"
Yeah.
Staff sergeant, like, what did I do?
I'm still reeling from him calling a fucking drink a water source. What the fuck? Yeah. Fucking classic Marine
He's
shit.
like, get your go fasters and your water sources, stand the fuck by. So I did, and he ran my ass. And I've never been a runner, and this fucking dude could run. He ran my ass through the tank trails, through the Camp Lejeune tank trails to a DZ, like way the fuck out there. Sugar cooking he fucking hazed the shit out of me. And I'm like dripping in sweat. I got sand and stickers all over me. And I mean, it had to have been a couple hours later after we got done with all that. He was basically like, the whole time he's like, "You're an embarrassment." I had no fucking clue what was happening. Mm-hmm. I was just doing it.
Yeah.
And afterwards we got done at the DZ. he told me what happened. There was 2 of the guys in the platoon, 2 lance corporals. I'm a sergeant. 2 lance corporals got drunk at the ball when the ball was over, and like they had this fabric lined on the walls, and they had pulled all the fabric down. This is like a hotel out in town in Wilmington, and then like we're rolling up in it. Well, the word got back. Somebody dropped my fucking name, said that I did that. I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So he told me what happened, and I was like, Mitch, I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, good sport. And like patted me on the shoulder, and we ran back. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And those other 2 kids never even got in trouble for it.
That is a fucking classic example of the United States military right there.
But this is the lesson that I tell people, because I tell that story all the time.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to throw their fucking Red Star cluster up and be like, wah, 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 it's not me. Listen, this is the way that it works. You take your fucking licks on the chin like a man, and then you deal with it afterwards.
Yeah.
You don't whine and complain. You don't go to the general. You don't go to the sergeant major and complain.
Yeah.
You take your fucking licks, whether it's, and this is like leadership 101, right?
Yeah.
If anybody in your team fucks up, what do? You take responsibility for it. If they fail, you fail.
Yeah.
If somebody in my company makes a mistake, I go to the customer and I apologize, and I take it as my mistake, and I tell them, I'm sorry that I did this.
Yeah.
I own it. And that's kind of the way, like, I look at that story kind of like, even though I didn't do it, I fucking own it.
Yeah.
And take my licks like a man, not be a fucking crybaby about it.
Yeah.
And then move on.